Well, hello everyone. I am grateful you took the time to join Julian and I. We are going to talk about property taxes in Texas, something that nobody really likes to talk about, but unfortunately we have to deal with. I have a friend that's an accountant that said we always have to pay our taxes, but we do not have to leave them a tip. So we're going to try and see what we can do tonight with Julian and find out how he and the folks at Ownwell not only can give us some advice, but maybe actually save us some money on our property taxes. Thanks for joining us today, Julian.
Of course, yeah. Thanks so much, Robin. Happy to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about who Ownwell is, who you are, and what you can do for us?
Yeah. So, my background's in real estate, more on the technology side. I was a loan originator at the start of my career. I then started to work for a few different startups, more on the lending side, and did some partnership work with a lot of real estate agents and brokerages. Um, Spent 5 years at Better.com, growing their sales and partnerships teams, and now currently lead partnership efforts at Ownwell. So Ownwell is a 5-year-old company. Our primary product is property tax appeals.
Okay.
And so today I'm gonna, walk you through what Ownwell does, how we do it, how it can benefit both you if you're a homeowner on this call, and uh, benefit your clients.
Excellent, because what else do we that's exactly what we need, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially in these days where taxes and are high and home affordability is low. And so, these are just some high level stats here. Uh, 45% of property owners overpay on their taxes today, their property taxes. Yet, over 90% of folks make no attempt to save. And so, it's one of those things that most homeowners they have the option, really, everyone that owns a home today has the option to appeal
Mhm.
and contest what the tax rate is, which is based on a value that your county assigns to your home. Most folks don't know that that's an option, and so what we try to do is really educate our customers that this is an option for them, and Ownwell is really there to support and help you through that process in a very easy digital way.
I'm surprised that there's that many that don't make an attempt to save,
Yeah,
that it's
no,
that high.
it's well, our goal is to bring it down, but right now it's still pretty high, and so this applies across the board, and even into commercial real estate if you are a commercial real estate investor, and we have that side of the business as well. But when we look at property tax payments and escrow payments as well, those have been going up significantly since really COVID began in 2020. So a 20% increase in your property tax payments, and a 40% increase in your escrow payments. So if you have a mortgage, most folks end up baking in the insurance and tax payments into the monthly payment, and those payments have been going up. You've probably noticed once you get your renewal every year with your mortgage servicer. And so Ownwell really helps not just save on your annual taxes, but you'll feel that in your payment if you are escrowing through a mortgage company today.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of my past clients that are struggling, right? I'm getting clients that are struggling because now all of a sudden the payment's gone up because they're not only, I mean, there's homeowners insurance, and that's a whole other phone call. That's a whole other webinar. But the taxes are going up as well, and it's starting to really affect people and their affordability of the house they've lived in for years.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, the average owner, um, we're all busy. I'd like to think most of us are busy with family, jobs, life. Um, Everyone has the option to do this on their own. And what that entails is doing research on, company or not company, but home valuations in your neighborhood, doing research on really the value of your own property, submitting some paperwork. Um, and so we try to really give time back to our clients and our customers and really do all the legwork for them. And so our process is very simple. We have customers come in, create a simple account, takes 2 minutes to sign up. Uh, you sign an authorization form, which essentially allows Ownwell to act as a tax consultant and negotiate directly with the county to negotiate that assessed value down, which in turn will reduce your property taxes. Um, and and so the best part about all of this is we don't charge homeowners anything up front. So we really operate on a contingency fee model. So we'll only charge customers if we save them money, um, which is great. I don't think a lot of companies do this, and I think a lot of companies should do this. But it's really a no risk opt-in model for you, for your clients. We do charge a percentage of the savings. So in Texas, we charge 25% of the savings that we achieve for clients. So if we're able to, as an example, reduce your property tax by $1,000, we would charge $250. Um, and it's a very simple online process. You're brought into an online portal here. To give you an example of how the tax bills and assessments work, every year you'll get that assessment in the mail. We're having this conversation now because we're sort of in that assessment season, and so homeowners are going to be receiving their new assessments in about 2 weeks. So about mid-April, they'll start to see those come in the mail, and homeowners have until May 15th to submit an appeal. And so that's the Texas deadline. So you have a few weeks to sort of review the assessment and look online to see if we can possibly save you some money here. But just these numbers here kind of show what your assessment might come out to, what your bill might come out to in 2023, and how we can reduce the assessment down, and that in turn reduces your final tax bill, which you would pay later on in the year. And so, who is Ownwell as a whole? We're a 5-year-old company growing very quickly. We have over 400,000 customers with us and expect to double every year. Our customers really love our service. They see it as a zero cost, almost insurance policy to make sure that they're never overpaying for all of these real estate expenses. And most of our customers renew with us every year. So over 90% of our customers renew with us year after year, which is great. Most of them, the folks that don't end up selling the property, that tends to be the number one reason why they opt out there. But in terms of average savings across the board, it's about $1,100. So it's pretty meaningful, a pretty meaningful amount for most folks. And great. Achieve reductions about 86% of the time.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, and $1,000, I mean, we spend, so using Texas as an example, $250. If you save me $1,000, I spend $250 without thinking about it, right? So, I mean, when you start thinking about cost versus reward on that, you're still keeping $800 of your own money. It's really what it gets down to.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, in addition to property tax appeals, we have two other noteworthy products here. I won't really touch on that today much, but They're related. So homestead exemptions, a lot of you may be aware of that. It's something that is a no-brainer to do if you have a primary residence, but most folks, not most, but a lot of people just forget, and I probably would forget too, to file that. And so we help people file for their homestead exemptions in the portal, so that's an additional add-on service. And we have a bill reduction service, so if you have a cable bill, a phone bill, utilities, we have a team that will review your bill. You upload the bill to your portal, and we can try to find discounts and lower that monthly cost for you. And it's a contingency fee there as well. So we only charge 25% of any savings that we might find you. But this is a glimpse of what the portal looks like today. You'll get email updates on what the appeal status, when we've received a new, hopefully a reduction, and there's a couple other nice features in the portal, so you can kind of look at neighborhood crime reports, take a look at your property's valuation compared to other properties in the area. So there are some cool, nifty tools about your property. And I assume a lot of the folks on this call are in Dallas. Maybe not everyone, but in the Dallas area, we pulled some data here in sort of the four main counties, and this kind of gives you a glimpse of what the average success rate is. So on average, how often are we reducing your tax rate?
So is that saying that the average reduction in Collin County is $15,000?
The average reduction, not the actual tax bill itself, but the reduction in the value of the property.
Value of the home. Okay.
So I'd say the rough sort of tax bill savings might range from, maybe $400 up to $900 or $1,000, depending on the value of your home. Yeah. And so this is it's meaningful. It's tangible savings. It's not a couple bucks here and there, and Ownwell really manages that entire process for you. Once you sign that authorization form, you're able to sort of sit back and relax and just wait for Ownwell to sort of work on the appeal and hopefully bring back some good news. No worries. Just some Google reviews. Nothing much to say here other than customers.
People like you.
Like us. It's good. Always good to see. This slide has a lot of words on it, and I'm not going to go through it all. But with one of our property tax consultants, he put this together, and it's just really to tell and make you aware that you have rights as a homeowner to contest and appeal your tax rate, and that's the main. I think that's the myth that we're trying to, debunk here for homeowners. I think most folks think that your tax is fixed, your property tax cannot change, but we're really here to educate both you and your clients that no, you do have the right to contest it, and this kind of gives a rough tax calendar in Texas. So, now between January and end of May, sort of the appraisal phase where your county is assessing your property's value. They're sending out new assessments in April. From May to July, that's when those tax appeals get submitted and when the protests get processed and the value negotiation starts to happen with the county themselves. And then July, September, that's when the new tax bills and hopefully the reduced tax bills get sent by mail to all of the homeowners, and then the due dates come due end of the year, November through 1st of January.
Let me ask you a question, because it seems like it seems like the county will just up your the taxes or the value of your home or whatever that that is by the maximum that they're allowed to do every year and just play the odds that most people are not, clearly like 90% of the people are not going to, they're just going to let it ride, they'll complain about it rather than protesting it, and then they bring them down however much they bring it down. I mean, is that kind of true that they just go through and raise it the maximum they're allowed and play the odds?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, the county has mass valuation techniques, and they're just not as sophisticated as some of the valuation models that we have here at Ownwell. So what that means is, you know, they're not able to physically go to every house in a county, in a jurisdiction, and look at the condition of each home and factor that into their model. They're really taking some high-level data points and applying those valuations across the board without taking into account the nuances of your exact property's condition or what happened to it or some of the recent sales that happened in your area. So a lot of information that really should go into the assessment really doesn't, and I don't think it's I hope at least it's not a tactic that they're using to max out their tax revenue. I think it's more that they're just not as sophisticated with their modeling, and they don't have the resources to be as accurate as we are with determining what a true honest value of the property is. And so it's really you could plot all of this on a graph and do a regression analysis, and there's always going to be an average, right? If you draw the average line across that plot graph, and there's going to be there are going to be some homes that maybe are underassessed, but I think a lot of homes are going to be overassessed here. Our job is really to bring those overassessed properties back down to the true median, or where they should truly be.
Well, and I'm sure after the last few years, with the home valuations and home sales, what houses were selling for in the crazy 2021, really 2020, 2021 into 2022, that has really skewed a whole lot of things because they were overvalued. And just because somebody paid more doesn't mean it was worth more.
Right.
Because people were giving sellers an extra $100,000 cash, waiving appraisals, so those valuations are skewed.
It's a great point. That's a great point, right? It may not take into consideration some of the softening in the real estate market, at least in some Texas markets.
Yeah.
Austin maybe is one of them. I'm sure Dallas maybe as well. And so there could definitely be a lag effect there, that they're not considering the recent sales in that neighborhood.
Because sales around here went really high, and now I'm not going to say they're not dropping so much as leveling off, and maybe increasing a little bit, but certainly not at the 8, 9, 10% that they were.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I have a relevant slide here. We don't have to get into the nitty-gritty, but the mass appraisal method is, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, is what the county is using to assess the value of the home. And so it just doesn't have as much data as some of our models that we use. And so, this is a little bit more technical, but what we're doing at Ownwell is we're leveraging a lot of public data that's available to us about the real estate market, about sales, and essentially applying 2 or 3 different valuation methods. And then our real estate property tax experts make a determination on, okay, based on all of this data, we think there's a good chance to bring down, and we have a good case to negotiate the value down with the county. And what's nifty about our website is, we share what we think we can save in your tax rate based on past data. So you're always able to go online and just kind of plug in your address and see, hey, is there an opportunity to save here? Not every home will have that opportunity, but there's a good number of them that do.
Now, but somebody wanted to kind of do this on their own, right? Like, oh, I'm retired. I always tell people my father made a career out of he had to go to both Dallas and Denton County because he has two taxing districts, or he did, and he made a career out of protesting his taxes every year. And, so if somebody, what does it take to do it if you're going to do it on your own? Because I've done it on my own, and it's kind of a pain in the neck, because what I found is you've got to get comps, which I'm happy to provide to people, but then you've got to get in the queue for a phone call, and then it's on when they, and it's just a lot of time. I mean, it is a lot of time, and you have to prove that, that your house is crappy, if that's what you're trying to do.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Look, and anyone can do it, and I'm not going to say it's difficult by any means. Like you said, it just takes time, and what is that time worth to you? Only you can kind of make that determination. If a lot of folks, I know some people that do it on their own, and they're happy with it, and that's great. If you have less time, if you've got family duties, job duties, we're all there. I think I'm willing to give up 25% of the savings for all the time I'm going to save through that process and have it be a simple online experience and not have it cost anything to opt into the program.
Right.
So, if they're the experts at it and they do this as a business for a living, I'd rather, pay that contingency fee to let them kind of manage that on their side.
Would you, do you think that how do I want to put it? So if a person that does it on their own, do you think they have as great a success as maybe Ownwell does with their models and their systems? Do you think it's an equal reduction, or do you think one is higher than the other?
Yeah, that's a great question. We haven't done a specific study comparing the people who've filed on their own and the people who have used a service. It would be a great study to run. And so the answer is I'm not sure, and I think it really depends. If I had to guess, it'll likely depend on how organized and how strong.
How good an individual is at it, right? Like I said, my dad was pretty much a professional by the time he'd done it for 30 years.
Yeah. You have to be a bit savvy in real estate or understand real estate to be able to craft a case to say, hey, my property is worth a lot less. And so, it depends, what your background is, how much you know, how much you're willing to learn, the time you put in. And so it's really a time question. I think that there is something to be said here that, because we work with the counties a lot, we submit a lot of appeals with them. Sometimes they'll apply reductions across, a large bulk of appeals, which benefits you, the client, the homeowner, the partner. And so, yeah, but we've done a study on, the opportunity cost of not appealing at all, right? And that's pretty significant. You're losing out on a good amount of money. Your valuation probably is going up too high consistently if you're not appealing. And so there really isn't a reason not to appeal, right? It is sort of a no-brainer sort of service you want running on in the background.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say. This is almost, if you have someone doing it for you, so, you have an Ownwell out there, and like you said, there's people every year that just renew it. So I'm guessing it's just almost go on an automatic renewal that just says, just do it every year, right? And, send me the bill if you lower, if you save me any money, let me know. But kind of putting it on autopilot, if you will.
Right.
Right? Just so you can continue to make sure you save the money.
Yeah, yeah. And it is an autopilot model. You always have the option to opt out if, or if you move, if you sell the property, if you end up doing it yourself. We make that very easy for people. Um, but yeah, if you do it that first time, it will sort of factor in and apply for that second season. And what we often see is it's not like you're any less likely to, maybe a bit less likely to get savings, but you'll consistently earn savings year after year, at least in Texas, because those mass appraisal methods are being applied by the county every single year. They're not able to sort of look back and say, oh wow, like this person did a protest, let's factor that into our assessment. They're still applying the same blanket mass appraisal method across the board in that
Yeah.
neighborhood. So that's great. You're not able. It's not just a one-time thing in Texas. It's more of an annual savings.
Yeah. What didn't I ask you? What did I miss? What did I forget to ask? What better question could I ask?
So
All right. Well, we did have some people that were trying to get on and couldn't, so we will make sure they get the recording. And anybody that is watching on YouTube or anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to reach out to Julien if you have any questions on Ownwell and how that might benefit you. And if you would like to go to their website, let me see here. It's really, I set up a little tiny URL to go to my page. So it's just tinyurl.com. Pretty simple. So if you'd like to go check them out and see how they might be able to help you. As he said, I've been in there obviously a few times, and I've got it set up. I need to put some pictures of my unupdated bathroom into my portal so that when that bill comes around, you guys can take care of that for me.
make sure it's high definition.
Exactly. I don't know if gotta clean it first before I can let you guys see really how bad it is. But anyway, thank you so much, Julien, for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. And like I said, folks, reach out to Julien, reach out to me. We can make some connections. Protest those taxes, whether you use somebody like an Ownwell and you have somebody, or do it yourself. But please, like I said at the beginning, we all have to pay our taxes, but we do not have to leave them a tip. So let's not do that.
Thanks so much, Robin. Really, really enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Julien.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.